Ah, Paris, we meet again. But this time, it's for the beginning of the Rugby World Cup. Flowers, espressos, and museums about the revolution. I was pretty content, but one thing we hadn't ticked off was Versailles. Josh took a while to warm up, saying, "I don't know, I'm not impressed yet, but I think the wall of mirrors won him over." Bonjour, friends! We were reunited and about to embark on a trip that was 2 years in the making. With the Arc de Triomphe behind us, we couldn't believe it. We were at Concorde watching the opening match. And after a fantastic walking tour of Montmartre, we were ready to rumble.
Who are you going for?
Big W for the green and gold.
How feeling, Tino?
Hot and ready.
I'll be the first to admit I don't know a lot about rugby, but as the weeks go on, I promise to let you know what I learn. Inspired by the fact that this guy was actually on Josh's local team, the boys practiced. With our first match won and access granted to Chris and Scott's car, we were off to Belgium.
Oh, what's going on here? I understand.
All jokes aside, I think we were all realising how special this time in our lives was and how lucky we were to experience it together. I mean, maybe not all of us, some chose to sleep. After a fun journey, we arrived in Bruges, a fairy tale town near the coast of Belgium. And being the incredible people they are, Laura and Michael took us on their very own walking tour. I don't know how many walking tours you guys have been on, but they don't normally finish with an afternoon of classic Belgian breweries and laughs with friends. This was by far the best tour of all time. While some were impressed by their beers, others were not. And after such a great day, the only thing left was to hit the couch and watch In Bruges. As a new day dawned, so did our appetite. But with Belgian waffles, chocolates and fries, we were satisfied. We then saw a spooky cloth with Jesus' blood on it and said goodbye to Belgium. And although we'd loved the last few days, we were back in our beloved France. We were based out of the beautiful town of Amiens, the perfect location for exploring the battlefields of the Western Front. After churchside hugs and late-night magnums, we set off to the Australian War Memorial, an incredibly sobering and beautiful sight. The Sir John Monash Centre taught us so much, even that during war times rugby was dubbed the greatest game of all. This day will go down as one of the most amazing days of our entire trip, and what we saw and learnt will live with us for a long time. I know it's a bit of a gear shift, but doesn't this picture of Chris look like an advert for Farmer Wants a Wife? We returned to Amiens and watched more rugby before we got ourselves pumped up and ready for Lyon. With many of us bordering our 30s, hostel dorms weren't appealing. Except when the entire dorm was full of your best friends. Josh even got to wrestle. Over the moon because even more of us had reunited, we were ready to celebrate. Now I'm going to do something a bit crazy here, and after 6 months I introduce you to a very special guest host.
Welcome all to Match 2. This is your host Josh, taking you through the final 30. With the band playing and the drinks flowing, the crew was ready to watch our boys take the field. However, history will be made today with the Flying Fijians coming away with a win. And what better way to celebrate than try a hand in a bit of crowd surfing and a 1v1 sumo wrestling contest. Take that, Dean. Nursing bruises and headaches, we packed our bags and said our goodbyes, ready for the long bus ride south. Merci au revoir, Lyon. It's been a pleasure and we'll see you again soon. On to Cannes.